Welcome back to Hi Guys, it's your boy BDR and I'm back with another class overview. And this class overview is going to be about ShadowStalker, Shadow Weaver, Shadow Walker of Time. They're all basically the same class but with different names. So yeah, about, you know, SSOT for short. It was the 2017 calendar class. So this class is about like what, 8 years old at this point, and it's still it's still one of the best soloing classes, mainly due to the buff it got around 2021, alongside all the other chrono classes at the time. Since then it's had its share share of moments. Mainly a DLT class and whatnot. So yeah, let's get started with how to obtain SSOT. So there's many ways to get it. First, you can go to Hero Mart, rewards, calendar classes, AC shop. You're going to scroll all the way down till you see the time lock key 2.0. Now, the time lock key 1.0, you have to go all the way to Curio. That's if you just want the Shadow Stalker of Time design. But yeah, go buy the key for 6K AC, so like $20 to $30, depending on if the AC bonus is on and whatnot. I think currently at the time of recording this video, the AC bonus is gone. So yeah, then you go to the time lock shops. You can go down to Shadow Weaver of Time, and there you go. You can get the classes like that over here. Spiders, yeah, whatnot. So those are kind of like the two ways, to get it, either through Curio or Hero Mart. All right, then let's talk about the skills. Now then, it has its own auto attack in Rift of Shadows, 1.2 second cooldown, physical short range, one target. Gain a stack of Chaos Ricks that stacks to 4, lasting 8 seconds and used by your other abilities. Each strike raises your hit chance and lowering your opponent's hit chance by 3% per stack. If Temporal Eclipse is active, your strikes additionally affect you and your opponent's focus, raising your dodge and lowering theirs by 3% per stack. Both stack to 5 and last 10 seconds. Then we have Execute/Devour, 15 mana, 6 second cooldown, hybrid, infinite range, 2 targets. Shrink in the blink of an eye, wearing away at your opponent's existence, inflicting your foes with a light DLT for 6 seconds. If Temporal Eclipse is active, instead apply a light HOT to yourself. Then we have Vendetta/Umbral Stigma. Let's go here. 30 mana, 6 second cooldown, magical, long range, 1 target. Marking your opponent, damaging them, and increasing incoming damage to your opponent by 20% for 10 seconds. If Temporal Eclipse is active, instead, converge the shadows upon your foe, consuming all your Chaos Rift and inflicting your opponent with a heavy DLT based on how much damage was dealt in the past 10 seconds while it was active. Then we have the rank 3 skill, Silhouette/Shadow Warp. 12 second cooldown, magical, infinite range, 3 targets. Sacrifice your life force into the shadows, increasing your dodge by 300%. And, drawing your opponent's focus for 4 seconds. If Temporal Eclipse is active, instead strike your opponents from the shadows, inflicting large DLT and recovering 30 mana after a short delay. Your rank 4 passives, Never Ending Dusk, increases endurance by 25%, and Shadows of Time, outgoing damage increased by 100%. Then we have our rank 5 skill, Temporal Eclipse. 30 mana, 15 second cooldown, long range, 3 targets. Now then, it reduces your opponent's hit chance by 30%, gaining in Temporal Eclipse stacks, increasing your crit chance by 80%, and changing your skills effects. Gain Turbulent Rift as well, increasing your haste by 30, all effects last 5 seconds. And finally, for your rank 10 passive, Harbinger of Shadows, increases outgoing damage, crit chance, and crit damage by 12%. Alright, so what we can gather here from this class so far is kind of like, you gain additional effects if Temporal Eclipse is active. So we kind of want to activate, Temporal Eclipse first, then, just activate your other skills as well. And yeah, just keep that going. This class does have high mana cost as well. That could be a problem. Alright then, let's move on to combos and enhancements. Alright guys, so this is going to be the builder we're going to use here. Now for the weapon choice, if you have Dauntless, use it. But Smite can actually work as a pretty great substitute because, your temporal eclipse is kind of like your bread and butter. So, with Smite, fifth skill activating 500% hybrid damage. With Smite, you can actually, get like 40k, 30k nukes, with Smite active. Then Lucky, obviously this class wants to crit. Vainglory for, more DPS. At this point, you're not really going to be worrying about heals all that much because, you're also going to be dodging as well. And Vim for, to lower those mana cost as well because this class does have some mana issues. Now for substitutes, I mean full luck with mana vamp. That's how it was back in the day, so there's that. Alright then. I don't have animations on. For your combo, what you're going to want to do here is 5, 4, and then spam 2 and 3, and then repeat the combo. Now, in terms of soloing, this class is, still one of the best soloing classes in the game due to, like, its DLT. Like, look at this. Look at the DLTs that we're getting here. As you can see right here, 100k DLTs like that. Being able to have that dodge on you. Of course, I can see Smite is working just fine. And we're just oh man, 80k DLTs. And it's basically the best damage over time class in the entire game currently. And I guess you can probably argue Infinity Knight, but yeah, you just can't compete with this. It's like we're already done here. We don't need to go any further. 46, 47 seconds. 668,000 right there. So yeah, in terms of soloing, it is one of the best soloing classes currently in the game. You can kind of say like up there with like, Chrono with its fellow Chronos in Chrono Shadow Hunter and Timekeeper. But it does have its, mana and health issues. Alright then, let's move on to farming. Alright guys, so in terms of farming, ShadowStalker of Time, it can do well in some situations, but you do have to watch your health though, especially if you don't have Dauntless. You're gonna have to like use this class in like a slow manner. It's like, avoid getting, destroyed like this. While it can put in some work as a farmer, it's just that you really have to be careful with your health while, using this class as a farmer, you know, especially if you don't have Dauntless. So yeah, in terms of farming, it you need Dauntless in order to farm with this class. Alright then, let's move on to support. Alright guys, what I meant to say was survivability in the farming potion. But in terms of survivability, I mean, it could kill bosses quickly with its DLTs. But in some cases, that's not always going to be the case. It can get one shot, two shot by certain bosses, kind of like, Primarch, Legion Lichlord, etc. Especially if you're not backed up by, any other support, like, Legion Revenant, Lord of Order support. Then it could probably take on those bosses. But by itself, it can deal with some bosses, and it also can get clapped up by certain bosses, like I said earlier, like Legion Lichlord, Primarch, etc. Especially if you don't have potions. So yeah, let's move on to support, and then final thought. All right, so in terms of support, ShadowStalker at time can offer some support with its auto attack, actually, lowering the opponent's hit chance and lowering, their dodge by 3%, which can also stack to 5. And its Vendetta Umbral Stigma can actually increase incoming damage to your opponent, whatnot. On top of that, it has the DLTs, the heavy DLTs paired up with classes such as Arachnomancer, Quantum Chrono, Legion Revenant, Lord of Order that could really increase its DLTs for for quick boss clears as long as they don't have a boss shield. So yeah, in terms of support, it can actually provide some support. Now then, the pros about ShadowStalker of Time is that, this is, it's one of the best damage over time. I would even say it's like the best, damage over time class in the game. It's great at soloing. As you can see here, very fast soloer, fast and quick soloer. And, you can use it in group fights as long as they don't have a boss shield. And yeah, pretty nice class. Pretty much all that I have for pros. Now then, the cons about ShadowStalker of Time is that one, like I said, I say it's for all chrono classes. It is pricey, 6K ACs. It is one of the harder classes. I'll say it's one of the hardest classes to learn in this game. In my personal opinion, it's probably the hardest class to learn. I mean, what do you guys think is the hardest class to learn and master in this game? Is it Archmage? Is it ShadowStalker? Comment section below. And you do have to watch out, for its health and mana issues, especially if you don't have Dauntless. And that's pretty much, yeah. I think like the last con, like it needs Dauntless. Smite is good, but Dauntless is definitely the primary enhancement to go with this class. So yeah, that's pretty much it for cons. Alright then. So my final verdict about ShadowStalker of Time is that ShadowStalker of Time is still one of the best soloing classes in the game due to its, high and fast DOTs that it could apply to the opponent. And, I recommend getting this class only if you have the 6K ACs to do it, as it is one of the few chronos worth getting. Alright guys, that's pretty much been it for the ShadowStalker of Time overview. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and what do you do with, how do you guys use ShadowStalker of Time? Do you use it for Azalith? I do. Azalith, World Challenge bosses, a farmer, solar. So yeah guys, that's pretty much been it. And yeah, hi guys, out.